Life in the 21st century demands various skills that must be mastered by a person, so it is hoped that education can prepare students to master these skills in order to become successful individuals in life. Important skills in the 21st century need to be empowered in learning activities, such as critical thinking skill. The achievement of 21st century skill is carried out by adapting the quality of learning, helping students develop participation, adjusting personalization of learning, emphasizing project or problem-based learning, encouraging collaboration and communication, increasing student involvement and motivation, cultivating creativity and innovation in learning, using individuals' tools appropriate learning, designing learning activities that are relevant to the real world. In the short, 21st century learning has the main principle that learning must be student-centered, collaborative, contextual, and integrated with society.
That opinion is supported by
Checking in 2015,
it's revealed that to be able to adapt to change at all times. It should be that each learner has the skill to think critically. Critical thinking skill it also helps learners to analyze the strengths or the weakness of the event and to analyze the issue that arise so that they can make sound decisions based on clear opinion and have the effort to maintain decision or conclusion they make.
Then, what to think critically creative HOTS? In the Socrates.id website, in the article entitled The Role of HOTS, Critical and Creative Thinking for the Millennial Generation, states that critical and creative thinking is identical to Bloom's taxonomy, and on the other hand, HOTS is also relevant to the 6 levels in Bloom's taxonomy, where HOTS, critical thinking, and creative are the same thing. These 3 things are at level 4, 5, 6 in Bloom's taxonomy. Here is the picture. Basically, critical and creative thinking is part of HOTS. Creative thinking is at the creating level, while critical thinking is at the analyzing and evaluating level. So, when we talk about critical thinking, it will be relevant to HOTS and vice versa. This HOTS will serve as a rationale for how I should view a problem and the question. Then, the ability to think critically will bring us into various points of view to examine the information that is relevant to it.
Critical thinking has an important role for the younger generation of this century because this is one of future skills that is a profession, so we can become smarter and creative young people. To that end, today's generation needs to be driven to think of more critical and creative ways to present the needed solution to society in time. According to Roro Ajeng Sekar Arum on the jabar.m.idntimes.com, claims that critical thinking can go through the design thinking approach. She said, a young person with design thinking will become sensitive to the conditions and problems that surround him or her. It helps to question the answer to her agitation until they are ready to step up, face up, and do a number of innovations because they have a strong foundation of critical, creative thinking. And I think it is very relevant and can help young people to be more wise about creating content in the digital world, less sensitive to hooks, and more accepting of issues. Most important, it is not to be a faster generation of comments than to think about knowing the risks.
The skills and abilities required by students to face challenges in the 21st century, one of which is hoaxes. Like one of them is a vaccine that makes people make things worse and even die. But is the information correct? Is it relevant? Reliable source? It could be a hoax. As Professor Muhammad Alwi Dahlan said in the antaranews.com article about hoaxes as planned news, the more sophisticated the technology, the more serious the possibility of misleading information will occur. So, this is where the role of students in the 21st century is to respond to hoaxes with the ability to think thoughts, namely by finding the information by knowing, understanding, and then analyzing the information. Is it true that vaccine can cause death? Then, evaluate by looking for reliable and factual or actual sources such as trusted media accounts or asking directly to health experts or medical personnel who work in the vaccination section.